let's start today. Welcome to today's class. I am Kumar Agarwal, Senior Software Engineer at Amazon. So today we will be seeing Java basic syntax. So like very basic syntax we will see, and control flow statements. Okay. So let's revise similar to what we did yesterday. We did 4 or 5 questions, right? So please guys open your chat and start answering this question in the chat only. Okay. So first question is, what is the full form of JDK? A. Java Deployment Kit. B. Java Development Kit. C. Java Data Kit. D. Java Debugging Kit. It's B. Java Development Kit. So remember, JDK is for development. Although it's a complete toolkit, but majority of tools other than JRE and JVM is used for development. JRE is for running your Java application. JVM is that machine that interacts with your computer. Okay. Let's see what is included in JRE. Compiler and debugger, Java virtual machine and libraries, source code editor, all of the above. Can someone type the answers? The answer is actually Java virtual machine and libraries. Because so in JDK we see that that circle, if you remember, JDK has JRE and JVM, and JRE has JVM and some runtime libraries, class loader, like that, right? So the answer is Java virtual machine and libraries. Compiler and debugger are part of JDK, and source code editor is like it's an editor part. It's a kind of IDE or any editor thing. We'll see this later. Yeah. Next is, what is the primary purpose of JDK? To provide an environment to run Java application, to develop and compile Java application. Okay, I'll just question. I'll again start question 3. What is the primary purpose of JDK? To provide an environment to run Java applications, to develop and compile Java application, to debug Java application, to deploy Java applications. So this is mostly for people who have joined yesterday's class also. For people who are new, just bear with me. We are just revising. In every class we do this, that before we begin the class, we usually revise what we have learned yesterday. Okay. So if you haven't watched yesterday's video, just go and have a look today and then watch this video. Just the revision part you will understand. But the remaining part which we will see today, that you will understand even if you haven't watched yesterday's video. Okay. So just bear with me. Okay. So what is primary purpose of JDK? Can you write your answers on chat? To provide an environment to run Java application, to develop and compile Java applications, to debug Java applications, to deploy Java applications. So like JDK, it is little bit confusing actually, because JDK also provides an environment to run Java applications, but the major purpose is to develop and compile Java applications. So JDK has tools like Java C and other tools, right? That's used for development. JDK contains JRE, that I understand, but if someone asks primary purpose of JDK, it's to develop and compile Java application. If someone asks primary purpose of JRE, you can write key, it provides an environment to run Java application. Okay. I know why we can get confused in this, but yeah, I think now it's clear, right? That's why I have put this question. Okay. What is the role of class loader in JVM? So to execute Java bytecode, to load class file into memory, to compile Java source code, to provide runtime environment. You can just answer. Okay. The answer is D, to load class files into the memory. So the main purpose of class loader in JVM is it will load all the class files you have, dot class files into memory. Okay. So it's a final question. What is the purpose of main method in Java application? Okay. To initialize instance variable, to serve as the entry point for the application, to handle exceptions, to define the class structure. So we had discussed this at the end, the main method when we discussed Java structure yesterday, right? Okay, I'll just answer this to serve as the entry point for the application. Okay, I'll just close the chat. Okay, the think about this yesterday we have seen. So name few reasons why Java is designed to have separate components like JDK, JRE, and JVM. Has anyone thought about? Let's finish this first because there's a lot to cover today. Okay, I will just go through few reasons. So one is separation. Okay, so they why they want separate components, because let's say if they want to change in JDK compiler, there is some improvements they are doing. Okay, they just have to change the compiler part. They don't have to test JRE and JVM part. Okay, so that separation will always be there. So if they want to improve something in JVM, they do not care about what happens in JDK tools, what happens in JRE. If they had bundled everything into single component, let's say if they had to change something in JVM, they had to test everything again, whether Java compiler is working, whether debugger is working, whether runtime libraries are working or not. Okay, that is one thing. And second main reason is platform independent. So by making different JVMs and separating these components, it was easy for them to design Java as platform independent. Okay, this is one another reason. So you can think of, there are a lot of reasons why they would have done that. But yeah, these there can be like yeah. So let's say you get applications from you're buying a Java application, let's say software, and you just want to run it. Okay, you don't want to develop it. Then what you can do? You can just install JRE. So that the JRE will be lightweight and it will help you run the Java application, because you don't want to develop, you don't know JDK, you don't want JDK tools like compiler, debugger, all those things, right? So that is also one more reason. So there are a few more reasons, but you can think of, but these are few reasons that I can think of. Similarly, second question also is answered by what I told. Let's say uh, you need JDK, but you don't need JRE. Okay, there is a company that provides Java software, and there is a testing company that test whatever Java software is provided by this. Now, someone just develops the Java software. They will just need the JDK. JDK means here just the tools that JDK provide, not JRE and JVM. We are just talking about the tools. But they would not require JRE. They will just develop the application. They will give it to QA. They will test the application and tell whether this is correct, this is wrong. Then they will fix that. So this is one of the scenario in which you only need JDK, you don't need JRE, and vice versa. You need only JRE and JDK, which I just told. Ki, uh, if you just want to run a Java application, you just install JRE. You don't need JDK. So this is one of the scenarios. Okay. Why do you think Java requires a main method as an entry point of a program? Can anyone tell me this? Okay, I will explain. So what happens if the main method was not there? Okay, you will have to provide what class is your main class, and you will also have to provide which function you have to run. Okay, so what function will be your entry point, because Java will not know where to start your code, where to start your code execution. So if there is a main method, right, which is standard defined as a standard, so you can put whatever your application dot run. Maybe you want to run your application, just put in main function all your you have defined that like you have defined 5 or 10 classes to run your application. You can just maybe execute your step-by-step code in main method and call whatever logic you have written in some other file. And Java will know that first I have to call this, second I have to call this, third I have to call this. So from main method, it is easy for Java to understand the flow of the execution. So how the code will flow, what will happen, and it will be easy for you also. Whenever, let's say, you have written the code, but you after 10 days you are saying, then you don't know how the code will run. You can just go to the main method and see the execution steps, and you will also understand easily. So these are few reasons why Java requires a main method as entry point of a program. Okay. Some languages don't have main method, or like Python doesn't have. You can just run a Python file without main method. It will execute whatever is there in that file. And similarly, uh, like some languages might have some other entry point, but yeah. So it's dependent on language, but Java prefers main method because it makes it life easy for execution, and it makes your life easy for understanding as well. Okay. One last we will go through is, anyone did this have Googled why is just-in-time compiler important for the performance of Java application? So these exercises for you only, guys. Think about this. It's not for me. Please think about it. If you answer the question, then it will be a discussion, and I'll know how you are understanding it. So based on that, I will explain even more. So currently, the students list has not confirmed, so it's fine for this week. But from next week, when we are learning full time, so we will, like, I will expect you guys to just go and think about this, because that will make you more creative, and it will help you ace the interview. Okay. So why is JIT compiler important for the performance of Java application? Because if there are multiple functions called to the same function, what JIT compiler does, I have told it, it keeps the machine code ready for that. Java interpreter doesn't have to interpret again. Okay, that's why the performance of that's why JIT compiler is important for the performance of Java application, because it that interpretation repeated interpretation step, it has optimized, so the interpretation will become faster and the performance will improve. So let's start today's class. What we will see today, we'll see variables, we'll see data types, we'll see types of operator, we'll see if else statements, switch case statements, and for loop and do while loop. Okay, so these are the topics, and we will not just discuss it as slides or something. We will do live demo. Let's start. So what are variables? Okay, before going to variable, I will just recall the program structure which we have seen yesterday. So this will be a class, some class we can define. I will explain what is a class and all. Don't worry about this. And we will have to define the main function. Don't worry about these words as well. Okay, whatever it is. So this is the structure. Our execution will start at main function. It will execute the first line here. It will execute second line here. It will execute third line, and it will print whatever you have written. Okay. One thing I forgot to tell yesterday, this print ln is like print this every new print in new line. So first hello world will be printed. Next, hello, my name is Kumar will be printed in new line. Welcome to Java course will be printed in new line. If you just run this, you'll see hello world. My name is Kumar is printed in new line, and welcome to Java course is printed in new line. Okay. So the program structure is clear, I think. Now tell me, what are variables? So just anyone can tell what is English meaning of a variable. Okay, I will just explain. So think of, I'll give you an analogy to understand. Think of this as a box. Okay, what is your task? You want to store some items somewhere. Okay, but whenever you want it again, it should be easy to find. Okay, what you will do to store an item, you will bring a box. So this box is there. You will put that item, and on the top of the box, you might write key. This item is in this box, and you will keep it somewhere. There might be a lot of other boxes there. Okay, and whenever you want this item back, what you will do? You will just search the name, whatever you have written on that box, and you will get it back. Okay, am I right? So that similar to that. So variables are kind of box that will store your data. Okay, so whatever you want to store, let's say you want to store my name, you want to store age, you want to store height, you want to store weight, or you might want to store whether class is happening today. So all these things, there are different types of data you can store. All those things are stored in variables. Okay. So from the definition, if you see, variable is a fundamental concept that represents storage location in memory. Okay. So you in memory, whatever it's in memory, you can store something. That storage location is variable. That variable will hold some value, some data. And why it is called variable? What is the English meaning of variable? Variable means something is changing. It's variable. So that can be changed during execution of the program. That means you can change the value. You can remove that item in a box and put some other item. Again remove, again put. Okay. So variable means storage location. Just remember in memory, and which will hold some data, and you can change that data regularly. So that is variable. Okay. Now let's see what are data types. Okay. These are two definitions we'll see, and then we'll see live demo. So can anyone tell from the name data type? So what are data types? We have seen a slight hint of this in our first class, static typing and dynamically typed languages. So what are data types? Okay, I will tell. So the we had boxes, right, to store variable, but the size of the box can be different. So if you want to store a very big item, you want to store a suitcase somewhere, that's a very big thing, right? You will have a you want a bigger box. But if you want to store a pen, which is a very small, you want smaller box. Okay, there can be different box. So similar to that, the type of data you store can be different. Let's say you can store numbers, like you can store age. Uh, my age is 42. Your age is 24. Your something like that. Her age is 6, like that. So that number you can store. You can store decimals, 2.5, 4.5. So those are different, right? And you can store Boolean as well. Whether uh, whether it's raining, yes or no, true or false. That's all. Okay. You can store characters, male or female, M, F. You can store like that. Okay. And or what you can store? You can store list of objects, list of numbers. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a list of number. So list here means collection of numbers. Okay. And next, you can store names. You can store strings. So you can store like Kumar. My name is Kumar. You can store. Today we are attending Java full stack course. Okay. The types can be different. So data types. Java has created few data types that will help you to store specific type of data. So Why they have created different data types? Because, so let's say integer will take some memory, right? And let's say this decimal might take more memory, for example, or single character might take one memory, but the full string can take more memory, right? So if you just define one data type for everything, you will have to take full strings memory even for a single character. That's why Java has optimized few of the data types. So it provided different data types so that you can optimize your memory. Okay. So let's see the definition. Data types specify the kind of data that variable can hold. Okay. So what now you know what in, let's say you have colored boxes like this. In red you keep some items, and in orange you keep some items, and green you keep some items. You know, in green box it will be always these kind of items. Like the data types. If it is integer data type, let's say example, you know always it will be integer. You cannot have decimal, or you cannot have true, false like that. You cannot have some characters in it. You will have always have integers. Okay. They define the operations that can be performed on the data and the way the data is stored in memory. So the way the data is stored in memory, I have explained. So operations here in means, so if it is integer data type, so can you add two integers? Okay. So once Java knows that it is an integer, Java also knows that you can add them. Java also knows that you can subtract them. So like that, Java has created few operations which we will see today. So once you define a data type, once you tell that this variable is of this data type, Java will get to know that this variable can be stored in this much memory. This variable can perform these operations can be performed on these variables. These operations cannot be performed on these variables. Okay, if you store string, can you add two string? Not add in the sense the plus wala thing. In strings, it might be a different meaning, but uh, like 2 plus 3 equals 5. Can you do that in strings? It's not possible, right? So Java will know what you can do, what you cannot do. So there are two types of data types in Java. Any doubts till now? Any doubts? Anyone in the chat telling anything? So there are two types of data types, primitive data type and non-primitive data types. So primitive data types are defined by Java. Non-primitive, there are few non-primitive data types defined by Java, but non-primitive data types, you can also create your own data types. Okay. So primitive data type, there are 8 primitive data types in Java. So these I have categorized into 3 categories. These are numbers. So byte, short, int, long. Sorry, based on the range of number. So let's say byte will store the shortest number. So it has very less range. Short will have larger range. Okay. Int will have much larger and long will have much larger. Okay. So these are just numbers, float and double. So float will have some precision and double will have even more precision for that. So you can have after dot, you can have more decimal places than in float. So these are decimal numbers, and character is just single character, and boolean is true or false. That's all. So why I have categorized this? It's easy to remember that these four are numbers, these two are for decimals, and these two are different. It's for characters and true or false. These are 8 primitive data types, and these are non-primitive data types. So let's see a demo. If anyone has any doubts, I can take now. Let's start by creating a new file, variables. Okay, and I'll create a main function. See the power of IDE. I have just typed main. It has given me this already. I don't have to type public, static, void, main, these all those things. Hello, am I audible? Can anyone confirm? Yes, no, hello. Okay, variables. Let's start with variable. So what I have told, variables are kind of box. Okay. So to store any item, what do you need? First, you want to find the box, right? If you don't have box, you cannot store. So that means first step is find the box or bring a box, like buy a box. Okay. Next step is put that item in the box. Okay. Similar to that in Java, first step is you have to declare a variable. I want a variable of this name. Okay. So if you take analogy for a box, you go to the shop and you can tell I want box of this size, and you can put your own label on it. Message anything? No. Yeah. So let's declare a variable. We have seen data types, right? For declaring a variable in Java, since Java is static type language, you have to declare data type. So let's just declare number. Let's say I have to store age of a person, which is 40, let's say. So int age. You can declare like this and just put like this. So this is called declaring a variable. That means you're telling that, hey Java, I want to create an int. So int will have some memory defined, and I want to name it as age. So whenever I use age again, just give me what is stored in the age. Okay. Now if you just see system.out.println age, what you will get? Okay. You are trying to print age. So it is giving some error. What it is telling? Initialize variable age. Okay. So it is also giving me suggestion that you can do something like this. So what does that mean? That we told we bought that box, but we haven't placed any item in it. Okay. You have to place item. So it is telling just initialize. That word is initialize. Initializing a variable means you are adding a value to that variable, but you are putting item into that box. Okay. So age is equal to 40. So this is called assigning value to variable or initializing variable. Initializing means you are defining its value for the first time. Now let's run this code. What will it print? So this is variables. You can define lot more variables like int. Maybe you want to define number of medals China won in this Olympics. Let's say. Okay. I think there is some. Hello. Anyone has left anything? No. Number of medals. Number of medals. Okay. China won. China won. Okay. You can write. You can name variables like that. And what I have done here, I have declared that variable. Okay. Now you can put some value in it. Number of medal China won is equal to, let's say, 40. Let me 100. Let's say. Now what you have done, you have declared a variable, you have assigned value to it. You can just print and check. Similar to that, you what will you see? 40 and 100 should be printed. Am I right? So 40, 100. So this is that. But one catch here is you have to type age twice. So can we do something like that? You declare and assign a value in the same line. Can we do like that? Yeah, we can. We can do something like int, let's say number of days in a month, let's say in a month. Okay, this is a variable name. You can directly define value here, 30 days, let's say. Okay, so if you print this, it will print. Just run this. You will see 40, 100, 30. Okay, so what you did here, you declared a variable. So this is the declaration part, and you assigned value to it. You initialize that variable. Okay. Now let's say no, someone is telling number of days in a month is equal to not 30, 31. Okay. Am I audible? So now if you print number of days in a month, what will be the value? 31. Okay, because you have changed that value. So what I told, variable means you can change. Variable means it changes. Okay, it is not constant. If you have heard the word constant, it's variable. Okay, so variable means you can change. So values of this can change. You can change age also. So if I put age is equal to, let's say age is equal to, no, I have become 1 year older. I have become 41. Now my age is 41, let's say. And if I print like this, parent, you'll see 41 printed. In variables, what we have seen? We have seen how to declare a variable. We have seen how to assign a value to variable. Now let's see data types. Any doubts in variable? I'll just create new file so that it's easy for you to. Now again, we can declare a main function here and we'll start. Any doubts? Okay, let's start. Data types. So I have told there can be 8 primitive data types and there can be other data types as well. Okay. First, let's see all primitive data types. The first which we have discussed till now is int. Okay. Int age is equal to 40. So what is int here? Int is integer data type. Okay. So every data type has defined number of bits or memory. Okay. It will take like int will always take 32 bits. Okay. So 32 bits, if you know, so a 0 or 1 is a bit. Okay. 1 bit, 0 1. So a bit can store either 0 or 1. Okay. So if int is 32 bits, it can store 32 zeros or 1. That's how memory in computer works, right? In computer, you can just store 0 or 1. Computer doesn't care about 1, 5, 1 it cares, 5, 10. It doesn't know 5, 10 and all. It knows 0, 1. Okay? So everything we do, whatever it's written, public, class, everything will be converted to zeros and ones. So for data type int, Java is told I will take 32 bits from memory and assign this variable to that memory. This memory is age. And whenever you call that age, I will go to that memory and I will pick the value in it and then I will put it to you. I'll put the result to you. Okay? It's like that. So think of it as Java is doing the work of finding the box for you and giving you the item. So it is like you are going in DMart or somewhere and there was a baggage box. So they will place you whatever items you have brought, you cannot take in. You can just take the trolley in, put your bags in that baggage. So they will give you a token number. That will be your variable name. And whenever you return the token number, they'll find the box where it is, the item you have given, and then they will give you back the item. It is similar to that. See, int is a integer data type which stores 32 bits. Okay, so 32 bits means let's say if int had if Java designed int to store just 1 bit. So what are the possible numbers it can store? It can store just 0 and 1 because in a bit you can just either assign on the bit or off the bit. It's like zeros or 1 you can store in a bit. So if it was 1 bit you can store 0 and 1. But if it is 32 bit, what you can store? So you can store 2 power 32 numbers. So it's like each bit there are two possibilities and there are 32 bits. So 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, that probability, that combination if you do 2 into 2 into 2. So you might have learned this in permutation combination. So you will get 2 power 32. So 2 power 32 numbers you can store now. That's why int has some range. You cannot declare very large number in int. Let's say I'll do something like this. It's a very big number. So what it is telling? Int number too large. Okay. So this cannot be done. So if I just remove numbers, we will know that at some point this red will go. So that means around this there is some range for integer. Okay. So the actual range for integer is -2147483 okay, 2. Okay. So this is the number. If you just I think calculate 2 power 16, you will get this number. So 2 power 16 negative numbers, 2 power 16 positive numbers. So Java, that's why they have created data types, because now they know that this much memory I have to allot, and these are the numbers, possible numbers that can be stored in this. That's all. Okay. So that is why data types are defined in dynamically typed languages like Python. How Python will do? If you declare bigger number, sorry, these are not numbers. So if you declare bigger number, Python will think it is long. But if you declare shorter number, Python will think it's int. Okay, it has to check whether it's bigger, whether it's smaller, all those computation it has to do. But in Java, Java doesn't care. Once you have defined int and your program is compiled, that means Java knows that the range cannot exceed this value. Okay, so this is why we have to define data types. If it is, I'm taking little slow because it might be little confusing at the start. That's why I'm explaining it in much more detail. If anyone has any doubt, please unmute and ask, or you can put it on chat. So now we'll see other data types. So short, let's say, can I do short age? We cannot do because the variable name is already defined. How will Java know which age you want to call? Okay. So let's say short days, number of days. Let's say I'll just tell 5. So 5 you can store. To do system.out println short 3 days. Sorry, short is the data. You will see 5. Okay. What is the number of bits for short? It's 16. Okay. And it can store values minus 32,768 to 32,768. So you know your number is not big enough. Why do you want to give 32 bits? You can just use short and use 16 bits. So that will take less memory. And you have many such number, so that can impact your performance as well. So that's why Java has given data type as short. You know, if you want to declare date, let's say in a date there is a day, month, and year. So the day can be always be 0 to 31, sorry, 1 to 31. So you can declare short for that. Why do you want int? Okay. So that is one reason. Next is byte. Sorry, byte, not bytes. Bytes is even more smaller. Byte is 8-bit. Okay. So let's say byte over. Okay. It's like cricket mein which over it's going on. Okay. Let's say third over. Okay. So the range for byte, what I think I haven't explained it. This here means comment. Okay. So comment is for just understanding the code. It's not. It will compiler or your Java execution doesn't care what is there in comments. It will not do anything about the comments. Okay. So bytes range is minus 128 to. Okay. So this is byte. Now next is long. So we have seen that some larger number if you store, it is giving some error. Okay. So to store such large numbers, long is required. So if you just see, if I go 50,000, it will give me error. Okay. It is also telling cast variable days to type int. Okay. It is telling convert it to int. Okay. So let's give 5,000. And if I go byte mein 300, let's say it will give error. Cast variable over to type int. It is telling use int for it. Don't use byte. Okay. So I'll just put 30 for now. So long mein a very long number, let's say I'm declaring, that's a variable name, and long has 64 bits. So that's even more bigger. So I will just put one number greater than this. So this is supported in long, 64 bits. Okay, 64 bits. I don't know the range for it. Okay. So these are 4 numeric data types. It's just for numbers. Next come for decimals. Float, let's say height or weight. Let's keep weight. Okay. So weight is around 50.4, let's say. Okay. So you can put F. F is for just defining its float. So if you don't put F, it will not understand. It assumes 50.4 will be double. So if you want to put float, let float comes with 7 decimal digits precision. Double has 16 decimal digits precision. Okay. So the range is like that. Okay. And float 32 bits, double 64 bits. Okay. You will have to define floats like this only. Next, double height, let's say height is 100.2. You can define like this, or you can do like this. Okay. Anything you can do. I will just print out and show to you. System.out.println weight. And similarly, system.height.ln height. Okay. You will see 50.4 and 1000.3. Okay. See 100.3. So these are data types. Now we have seen floating point. Floating point float has 32 bits and double has 64 bits. So the class is already, we are already little late. So anyone has any doubts in data types? So I will cover operators, variables and data types today. Control flow statements I will take tomorrow. Any doubts in data types? So no, I forgot one thing. So we have seen primitive data types. So there are some non-primitive data types like string. Okay. You can declare string variable, let's say name Kumar. Okay. So you can declare string. This is not a primitive data type. It's a defined by Java. It's defined by Java, but it's non-primitive data type. So Kumar. In string, you can that Kumar is our Java teacher, like that. You can write anything. Okay. And even in primitive data types, I think I forgot to. Sorry. There is a char. Char is for single characters like gender, let's say, which is male. Okay. You cannot write MALE. It will fail. What it's telling? Too many characters in character literal. So you can have male or you can have small m. Okay. Similar to that Boolean. Boolean is raining. Let's say, is it raining? No, false. Small f, not Python, capital F. Or if it is raining, true. Okay. So you can declare like this. So character has 16 bits and Boolean has 8 bits. Okay. I'll just write here. Although you can find this info in internet, but yeah. So this is string. Okay. And there is, you can create a array. Array means array is collection of objects. It's like a list. So in a box, you have stored 5 numbers. Instead of storing just one item, you are storing 5 items in that same box. Okay. So let's say int numbers. So what int numbers will do, you can store only single numbers. So if you have to store multiple numbers, you have to do like this. And if you have to initialize a list, you have to do something like this. Okay. So if you just put system.out.println numbers of 0, that means first element. So the index will always be in an array. Index, even in C++, even in Python, the index is always start with 0. Okay. So if you do numbers of 0, what it should print? It will print 1. 1. So this is an array of 2 numbers. Okay. So you're telling, I want an array. Sorry. I want an array. Okay. Array is represented like this. All the elements of the array should be int. So you cannot have int and boolean in an array. That's not possible. Okay. So all the numbers should be of one data type. Okay. If I put, let's say, double, will this work? Yeah, it will work because one is also double, 1.0. Okay. Now if you run this code, it will print 1.0. It will not print 1 because it has stored it as 1.0 since it was double. Okay. So how is this possible? Because since numbers can be converted to decimal, since integer is also a decimal, Java does that transformation by itself. We don't have to do that. But if you store, let's say, reverse, let's say I'll try to store int height, let's say, and height is 10.2, let's say. It will tell, because integers are not decimal. No, this is telling issue because height is already declared. Another height, let's say, another height. Some other name will give. So it is giving what it's giving, required type int, but provided means given, it's double. Okay. So it is telling cast expression to int. That means it will cast it to int. It itself is doing int. Okay. So this is like a casting. Convert this value to int and store. Now if you just do system dot out dot println another height, let's say, what will you see? You will see 10. Okay. It is casting. Casting here means converting the data type from one form to another. Okay. This is how we cast. We'll see that in detail later. But yeah, so these are data types. We have seen 8 primitive data types and one non-primitive data, 2 non-primitive data types. So this array is non-primitive data type, but the number stored in that array, like int, double, which we have defined, is a primitive data type. You can have array of strings. So string array also you can have. Names, let's say student's name I want to write. Let's say Aditi. No, who are there? Let's say Indhar Prakash. Okay. So there are two things. No, not like this. Okay. We have defined like this, right? Yeah. So you can declare it like this, and if you print system dot out dot println names of, let's say I print 2, what it will tell? Array index is out of bounds. That means the names has only 2 numbers. How can you print 2? Index 2 means third number. How? Third name. That means you don't have third name, right? It is telling array index out of bounds. Okay. So when you run this, exception index 2 out of bounds for length 2. Okay. So that means it is not there. This number does not exist. Index is out of bounds. It's the index you are referring is out of what you have defined, like that. Okay. Understand it like that. You just put 1 in there. Okay. So data types what we have seen two types of data types: primitive data types, non-primitive data types. In primitive data types, we have seen 3 categories: numbers, decimals, and others like Boolean and char. Okay. And in non-primitive data types, we have seen 2 data types: string and arrays. Okay. Let's start with operators. If you have any doubt, let me know. I'll just go to the slides. Tell me now, what are operators? While defining data types, I told what are operators. Yeah, so some operation it is doing. So operators are the symbols that will help you do those operations. Okay. So I'll just give some definition to it so it's easy to remember. I'll just close this chart. Yeah. So these are examples of operators. So plus is an operator, multiply is an operator, divide is an operator, subtract is an operator, equal to is an operator. So operators are special symbols or keywords that are used to perform operations on variables. So we can perform. So why do we need operators? Once you have data, in your requirement always in the code will be that just store this data. That's all. That's enough. That is why computers are made of just storing the data. No, right? Computers are made to do operations. It can perform large number of operations which humans will take a very long time, right? So that's why operators are made. Operators are special symbols or keywords that are used to perform operations on variables and values. Okay? Why values? That also I'll tell. They are fundamental to manipulating data. So data can be manipulated in many more ways, but these are fundamental items that can be used to manipulate data and control the flow of program. So how the program will flow, all those things can be controlled by operators. Okay. Now let's see types of operators. So there are 7 types of operator. We'll see how much we can cover today. There is arithmetic operator, there is assignment operator, there is relational operator, there is logical operator, unary operator, bitwise operator, and ternary operator. So these are 7 types of operators in Java. Let's go through this. So first is arithmetic operator. So arithmetic operators. What is meaning of arithmetic? We are doing some calculation. So from the definition itself, you know what are arithmetic?
Addition, subtraction.
Yeah, addition, subtraction, right? So addition. This is even Java did not keep key for plus I will assign some other symbol like dollar. No, Java has made simple. Every language has made this simple that plus means plus, minus is minus, divide is divide, and this is multiply. Okay. And there is one more operators that programming languages have. It's modulus. Okay. We will see what is modulus. Okay. Let's define two numbers 8 and 4. Okay. Number 1 is equal to 8. Number 2 is equal to 4. Okay. Now what you want to do? You want to just add those numbers. Okay. System dot println. Just add number 1 plus number 2. What will be printed? 12. Okay. So you'll see 12. So what is happening? This is a variable. This is a data type. This is the value you put in variable. This is another variable. So you are using an operator to perform operations on variables. So this assignment operator always requires 2 variables. Okay. Always requires 2 variables. You cannot do something like 8 plus. It will give some error. Some expression is expected. Okay. Assignment operator always requires 2 variables. So you have done this. You can also perform like this. If you have declared number 3, let's say this is also valid, but it will tell number 3 is not there. So I'll declare. So you can also do like this. Here, this also has only 2 variables. It's not like 3 variables. The output of this variable, output of this, and this. Okay. Okay, understand it like that. So always arithmetic operators will have left side one value and right side one value. Okay. Next, subtraction. Let's go for subtraction. I'll just do this, and this. Okay. Number 1 minus number 2, let's say. Okay. And multiplication. Number 1 into number 2. And division. Number 1 divided by number 2. Okay. Let's run. What is the answer expected? So number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3 is 14, right? Number 1 minus number 2, 8 minus 4 is 4. Number 1 into number 2, 8 4s are 32. Number 1 divided by number 2, 8 by 2, 8 by 4, 2. Okay. So these are arithmetic operators. What is modulo? Modulo
Division.
reminder. Okay. So when you divide, let's say instead of declaring number, I can do something like this directly. 5 divided by 3, let's say. So that's why in the definition we see symbols or keywords that are used to perform operations on variables and values. So you don't have to declare variable to do an operation. You can put directly values as well. So if you just do, it is divide operator. Okay, it's not modulo. You will see 1 because you are doing integer by integer. And what Java will do. So this can be tricky thing when you are solving some tricky questions in interview. They will give numbers by number. So you will have to round it off. But if you just put 5.0, let's say, just put 5.0, not even 3.0 as well. It will give that 1.66667. It has automatically converted into decimal, and whatever the decimal limit is, it's giving. Okay. So now let's come back to the operator part. So 5 divided by 3 is something 1 point something. What is the remainder? The remainder is 2. So to get that remainder, they have declared this way, this operator. This is 2. Okay. Now arithmetic operators are done. Any doubts in arithmetic operators? Let's go to assignment operators. Okay. So when you are assigning value to variable, what is that you are using? So in this statement, right, we have seen everything. What is int? Int is a data type. What is number 1? Name of that variable. What is 8? Value you are assigning to it. But what is this? This is equal to. Since we know equal to means it is, you are making these two equal, number 1 is equal to 8. You are able to understand. But for Java, this is an assignment operator. You are assigning value to something. Okay. This is not equal to in Java. This is assignment operator. So equal to, like the symbol equal to is assignment operator in Java. Its name is equal to only. Next, there are few more assignment operators in Java. Those are plus equal to. So they have added all arithmetic operators before. That means you add that number to the current number and then assign. I'll just show the example. And it's like minus equal to, yeah, all the thing. Multiply equal to, divide equal to, and modulo equal to. Okay. So these are 6 assignment operators. So if you just put system.out.println, no, sorry, this is content. So int number is equal to 4. So this is assignment operator, right? Now what you want to do? Number plus equal to number 1. So what is meaning of this? Can anyone tell? So you don't want to do something like this. Number is equal to
9.
yeah, go on.
Output will be 9. So
Yeah, so what was number 1? 8. So output will be 12.
sorry, yeah, 12.
Yeah. So you don't want to do like this. Number plus number 1. It is very long. You want just easy thing to do. You will Java has provided number plus equal to. It is same as this. Number is equal to number plus number 1. Okay, it's same as like that. Okay. Now we can do number minus number 1. So first there was 4, now we added 8, now again you are subtracted 8. Now you are multiplying 8 into equals number 1. Okay, now you are dividing 8. Now again we got 4. So we are added 8, subtracted 8, multiplied 8 and divided 8. Okay. Now you can do modulo 8. So, modulo equals number 1. Okay, what it is telling? Variable update doesn't do nothing. That means we are not using number yet. So if I do just system.out.println and number, now you will see. Acha, it is why it is not doing. Variable update does nothing. If I do just remove redundant, because when you divide 4 by 8, nothing will happen, right? Since 8 is bigger, that's why it's telling variable update. Let's do some good thing. Let's do like this. Int value is value value equals 5. Let's say, okay. Now value modulo equals 3. Let's say. What does this mean? Take remainder of 5 modulo 3 and then assign it to value. So what will you get? You get 2. So 2. Okay. Or let's say 8 or 7. Let's say 7. You should get 1. Okay. So these are assignment operator. What is the time now? Oh, it's almost time. So let's do the relational operator and logical operator. Okay. And then we'll close. And remaining bitwise operator, unary operator, and ternary operator we'll do tomorrow, and control flow statements we'll do tomorrow. So control flow statements is very interesting. We'll do that tomorrow. Today's might feel little boring because most of the people know these things because they have done it in maths and all. But I'm just explaining you how these structure look like in Java. I have to go through basics because everyone needs to understand. So just bear with me. Next is relational operator. So there are few relational operators. So I'll just tell you what are those. So one is relational operator, means you are just comparing. Relational operators are used for comparison. So we have seen arithmetic operator is for arithmetic. Do some computation. Assignment operator is for assigning. Relational operators are for comparison. Okay. So what are some operators we use for comparison? Greater than, less than. Okay. There is greater than equal to. That means if it is greater and or equal to, there is less than equal to. Okay. There is equal to. This is actual equal to. It will compare whether two numbers are equal or not. And there is not equal to. So these are the 6 relational operators. So let's see an example. Always relational operators, even assignment operators require only one variable. Okay. So don't consider this, just consider this part. So assignment operator here, no, it's not one. Okay. Assignment operators, it's not, we cannot tell number of variables used, but in relational operators also 2 variables needs to be used, 2 variables or values. So Boolean relational, let's say this is the name I'm giving to variable. You can tell is 5 equals 4. Okay. It will tell the condition is always false. Why are you comparing? But yeah, we just want to compare and understand what is this. So these relational operators are used for condition. Okay, you want to check whether some value is equal to some value. You have computed one value in a very long method, and you just want to check whether you have expected value that it should be 100. Are we getting 100? You will just put equals to and check. Okay. Some similar to, if you want to do not equal to, you can do not equal to. So if you want to check if some value is not equal to this. Okay. So what it will do, it will just system.out.println relational, let's say I'm printing that value. It will tell true, 5 is not equal to 4. ठीक है. Similar to that, can you do greater than, you can do less than, or you can do greater than equal to, or less than equal to. So I think it's easy to understand. So relational operators are used for comparison. Okay. Next is logical operators. So this is, now you have compared ki, yeah, my let's take an example. You have checked ki if that person's height, let's say there is a criteria for joining an army, let's say, for example, the age of that person should be greater than 20, 21, let's say, and the height of the person should minimum be 5.5 feet. Let's say this is like that. Okay, what are we using here? Age should be greater than 40. That is relational operator, greater than 40. Height should be greater than 5.5 feet. But in between what we have used, and both should be satisfied. So these are some logical operations we have in when you learn maybe digital electronics or something like that. You will learn these are the logical operations we do. In binary, you will see all this, and you want both height should be greater than 5.5 and age greater than 21, or it can be or. So it can be or also, and not is just negation. Okay, these are the three logical operations. So what are operators used for it? What are the operators? And is like this, or is like this, and not is just like this. Okay. This is the same symbol in not equal to, but yeah, not. Okay. So you can do something like this, Boolean qualified, let's say. You can do like when you want to check whether age we have to declare. Let's say we will declare age is equal to 22, and height is equal to 5.7. See, sorry, I have declared int, right? It's not possible. 5.7. Okay. Now what I have to check whether the person is qualified army, age greater than 21, and we can't put and here. We have to put like this. Height greater than 5.5. So this was the condition. Okay. Now if I print, what do you think it will print? It will print true because the condition is satisfied. So this and these are called logical operators. So logical operators requires two expressions. Okay. And requires two expression, or requires two expression, not requires one expression. Okay. So you can put or also. So or and means both should be true, then it will be true, or else it will be false. Or means either, if either one of them is true, it will be true, the expression result will be true, or else it will be false. Okay. So we'll just see not. So I have put exclamation, sorry, this is that operator. This is that operator. Now it should be true. It's again true because both of them is true. Let's see not example, Boolean raining is raining. Okay. And no, let's take is temperature hot. Let's say this is the one you have to do. Okay. But you have an expression that tells, let's say you have 50 is the temperature, and you have something like 50 greater than required temperature. I'm just on complicating. So let's take is age more. Okay. And you have that age variable, and you have already checked whether the age is greater than 21. Okay. which is ageless. And you have to just check not of that. This is already there. You don't have, I am just writing it again, but let's consider age comparison was already there. You just have to do not of that. You can do something like this. This means if the age comparison is true, this will become false. This ageless will become false. If age comparison is false, this will become true. So you just have to negate, not. Okay. So what we have seen? We have seen assignment operators, arithmetic operators, assignment operators, relation operators, and logical operators. 4 operators. Okay. So why is this giving error? Because age comparison I haven't declared it. You can do Boolean age comparison is equal to age greater than 21. Now this will work. Okay. So we have seen what are operators. We have seen what is variable, what is data types. We have seen 4 kinds of operators. Tomorrow we will continue from here. We will see 3 kinds of operators. Then we'll see control flow statements. I will just show you one last slide. So I had prepared one. Think about this. That alone I will show you. So let's leave the last question for tomorrow. So first think about this. Why is it important to choose meaningful names for variables? Can you think of a scenario where a poorly named variable could cause confusion? Okay, just think about this. Why a meaningful name for a variable is important. So I gave few of the names which I gave were meaningful. Most of the names which I gave were meaningful. Okay. If you give names like int a is equal to 5, you just think about it. Why, in what scenarios these poorly named variables could cause confusion? Okay. Why do programming languages have different data types? What would happen if there were only one data type? I think I have answered this, but if you find any other reason, you can also think about this. Okay, we'll think about this in tomorrow after I take tomorrow's class. I think it's already passed out. Any doubts you have?
So what are all the tools we will be covering, sir?
What all the
Tools we
will be covering?
Yeah.
So tools in the sense we will learn Java completely, full stack. So we
Okay.
will learn basics of Java, OOPs, all object-oriented programming concepts. Then we will see some Java-related thing like multi-threading, Lambda expressions, streams API. So there are a lot of other Java thing concurrency, and then we will also see Java 8 features, different versions we will compare. Then we will see how to build an app. We'll see Spring Boot also for APIs. So REST APIs we will see. We'll see database connectivity, JDBC, ORM. We will also see what else we'll see. We'll see microservice architecture in the course. We will see data structures and algorithms. Like tiny bit here and there when I'm explaining programs. And we will see design patterns. We will see unit testing. So we'll cover wide range of concepts that will help you do full stack course. We will see front end part as well, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and one of the front end framework, like maybe mostly React, but I will also explain some differences between Angular, React JS, and Vue. Okay. And then we will make one real world Java application, example Java application, and we'll also do projects. So these are the things we will do. It is duration will be around 4 to 5 months.
Okay, sir.
Okay. just tell your friends about this course, ask them to join, it will really benefit you. This is just what I will teach, but what KSR will do for you, they will create a portfolio for you. They will try to find you companies. They have a lot of contacts with companies, so they will get you job interviews. You can practice problems. So all those things you can also do with KSR. They will help you what you have to say for introduction. All those things, all those help you will get. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank
I'll
you.
stop the class here. Let's see you tomorrow, guys. Let me know if you guys have any doubts. You can put it on WhatsApp and you can just go and revise things what we have discussed today. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for joining.